Good evening, VV Nation. Ron Wheeler here, and it's my pleasure to bring you tonight's special presentation, Investing Goals Made Easy. So, as the year comes to a close, it's always a good time to review your investment objectives for the upcoming year. In doing that, we want to take a look at what we've done the current year, and then to see if there's anything we want to change about next year, our goals, how we looked at things, maybe time commitment, everything that makes us a good investor. So, while I can't reach everybody individually, of course, and ask about your individual goals and needs, I want to kind of talk about how I do things so you can get an idea of what this looks like. So, at the end of every year, now my main trading profits come from options trading. As most of you know, I do the Ultimate Retirement Solution, I do the options here at VectorVest, but that's not all I do. I buy stock, I buy dividend-based portfolios, I reinvest, but I also for 2025 want to do something a little bit different as well. Now, when we talk about our needs and our goals, we have to talk first off about what type of investor are we? So, one thing I want to talk about here is the investor matrix. Now, I want to show you a couple resources about how to read this. I'm going to give you a brief summation of how this works, but over at VectorVest, I want to jump into our platform. If you click on training, and over in the right-hand corner, you'll see Dr. DeLito's book, Stocks, Strategies, and Common Sense. He talks all about the investment matrix, and then also, if you click on the Views tab, in the upper right-hand corner, if you type in investment matrix and go ahead and click search, oops, I have to type it in correctly. I was trying to rely on the auto typing there. There we go. The auto type's not working well for me, but that's the great part about almost like real-time presentations. Anyway, you click investment matrix, and here you're going to see these are some essays from Angela over the past couple of years. Actually, just all of last year. She did these in the summer. Are you a speculative investor? Are you a prudent investor? Are you a conservative investor? Or are you an aggressive investor? And these are really good detailed essays on different parts of the investment matrix. So let's go back to what I had in my presentation, and let's talk about what you're looking for. So I tend to put myself as a overall investor kind of more in the conservative, almost to the, probably in the middle. Now, that's my options trading. What I want to do for next year is I want to open up a portfolio, and I want to just have it traded for me for, an extra source of profits. So what I've got to do is I've got to look at this and see where I'm at. Now, in the options world, I know a lot of people tend to think of options as very aggressive trading, but I tend to think of my options trading as very, very conservative. And I tend to consider myself very conservative overall. I like safe stocks. I don't take chances. When I do my options trades, I do a lot of credit spreads. I do things that give me probability. Now, again, this is not options here. This is me buying stocks, maybe selling stocks. Why does that relate? Because the way I trade options is also the way I like to invest. I buy good, safe stocks rising in price. I will hedge them with options if needed during earnings announcements or when the market's going down. I like dividend stocks that repay, that I can reinvest. I like a good conservative investment matrix. So I'm going to be over here, but I do like my reward to be a little bit higher. So what that's going to lead me towards is more of the prudent mindset, where I'm looking for high relative safety stocks, which, as you know, if you've seen my previous presentations, I love RS. I think it's one of my favorite indicators in the software. But I also want something that's higher in relative value. So I want good safety. I want good value. I would put myself in the prudent category for this. So it's important that you find out where you are in that profile to help you select a trading system for the upcoming year. Now, maybe you already have a trading system, it's working well for you. That's great. Continue it on in 2025. But for those of us that are looking for something new, this is what we're going to do. So, other considerations that we need to think of. We need to think of allocation of funds. We need to think of time commitment. Now, as far as allocation of funds go, I'll leave that to a professional, money manager. That is not, that's not what I do. But, I'll look at my own portfolio and say, I have this much in stock, I have this much in an IRA that does a mutual fund that's targeted, and then this much I'm going to save for options, and then I'm going to put this much into some sort of a more active trading account. Now, time commitment. Most of my year-to-year profits come from options trading. That's where I'm going to put most of my time commitment. I don't want to spend, 8 hours a day trading. I used to be a day trader. I don't want to day trade anymore. Day trading is done with my life. I don't want to sit in front of my screens for 8 hours a day. It's no fun anymore. It's a grind. I did very well at day trading. I had my time in doing that. Now I want to do something a little bit more conservative. I want to do something a little bit more off screen. That brings me into the automation role. Is there something here that I can automate to make this process simple? And the answer is, with VectorVest, yes. We have our trading system viewer and our automated trades. So let's take a look at that and see how we can choose a good system for 2025. So let's jump back over to VectorVest and let's take a look at our viewers tab. And let's go on the left-hand side and we're going to see trading system viewer. Now, I think that the trading system viewer is probably one of our greatest developments here over the past couple of years because it really takes good trading systems that we've had for years, puts it into an automated form. Not only that, but it shows you the results. It shows you everything that you need to consider when you select a trading system. So first and foremost, what you're going to see is the name of the trading system on the left-hand side, and most importantly, you're going to see the category. So the reason why I started with the investment matrix is because you have to know where you are to select the category. So you can see we've got some aggressive, we've got some conservative. As I scroll through, you'll see some prudence, you'll see some conservatives again. So these are all arranged how your investment style would be. So I'm going to go to the top of the list here and I'm just going to categorize them. I'm going to click on that list and it's going to start with all of my prudent systems. Okay, so one thing that comes up right off the top is S&P 500 winners this year. Well, that makes sense. The S&P had a very good year so far. I mean, it's December 6th, so it's probably going to continue to have a good year. It's not going to sell off probably 40%. Well, knock on wood, in the next few weeks, but you can definitely see that, it's made money consistently month over month, 3 months, year over year. If I scroll over to the right, this is one of my favorite things, is you get to actually see some of the performance. So you get to see if there's a big drawdown, if it's nice, consistent climb, because this is something that you have to consider, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. As I scroll over, I'll see the all-time percentage gain, the annualized rate of return, the ARR, the 1-year max drawdown, and then also very important is any add-ons that you would need inside of VectorVest. So for the S&P system, you don't need any add-ons. If I use this system, I would need Profit Locker Pro or Profit Locker or Pro Trader down here. So it lets you know what add-ons, if any, you would need to look at that or trade in an automation that particular system. So let's just take a look right at the top of the S&P 500 winners 50-15 standard. If I click on that and I go up here to trading system details, or I can right click and click on trading system details, either way, but there's 2 ways to do that. Oops, let me go back to my sort. There we go. I'll click on trading system details and up pops a web page with the details of that trading strategy. So this trades S&P 500 stocks that are buy rated and sorts to the top those with highest price and lowest positive price momentum. Positions are held through down markets and managed on stops. The trading system was formerly known as Model Portfolio 2, but we changed the stop from a Profit Locker 50-15 to a GL 50-15. So this is the performance tracking since January 3rd, 2012. And what I like about this is the drawdowns are very, very insignificant. So you look at some of the drawdowns. Obviously, the one that catches my eye the most is right here. That was during the COVID lockdowns. We rallied straight off of that, came right back up with some very solid earnings. Now, what I also want to show you is this. This is where you as an investor can really fall into a trap, and you have to be very, very cognizant of this. You got to see this, right? This is very important. Take a look at the performance from January 3rd down to right about here. That's middle of the year 2022. There was quite a bit of drawdown. You went from here down, you regained a little bit, but then fell right here. There's something about timing in this. There are possibilities that you could start a trading system. And as much as I would love to start a trading system right here, or right here, or even somewhere right here, there's no telling sometimes when you're going to get in here, or at the low here, or at the high here. Timing is part of this. Now, what I mean by saying that is, this is something I tell a lot of my students in the URS. If you start out a trading system and you're not getting good results after 30 days, 60 days, that doesn't necessarily mean the trading system is bad. It just means that your timing was off, and you might have to wait a little longer to take advantage of this. Now, I fell into this trap when I first started using some of our trading systems here at VectorVest. I think it was back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I think it was actually even earlier than that, but year is irrelevant. I did my own custom trading strategy, and in the first month, the trading strategy dropped by about 12%. So I had time tested this. I tested the strategy. The results looked very similar to this, but my first results were less than about 12% drawdown. So I was kind of annoyed about it and kind of ranting and venting to some of my colleagues here. And one of my colleagues basically said, Ron, what do you tell people in your classes? That 1 month of bad performance is not indicative of the overall results of the system. So I let the system work. Now, it took a couple months, but at the end of the year, that system had gained about 30% overall. It worked out very well. Unfortunately, I just started it at a period of drawdown. So keep that in mind. You know, these results just of this system are fantastic, but it requires you to stick with it. And a lot of trading systems, of course, do require that. So you take a look here. The max drawdown over 1 month was 4.2%. I find that very tolerable to me. Over 3 months, 4.2, 6 months, 14.84. The max drawdown over 3 years was 17.6%. Again, I think that's relatively reasonable for a system that performs this well. Total trades, 118. That's very nice. Very low commissions, right? It's not something I'm going to be in and out of consistently. The winning trade rate, 55%. And if I scroll down a little bit farther, I can see the current holdings. Now, the nice thing about the current holdings is it gives me an idea of what kind of stocks this is going to trade. These are pretty good stocks. AutoZone, Booking Holdings, Cintas. These are a lot of the stocks that I trade options with that I look for that are very safe and consistent. So a very good selection of stocks here. Now, if you want to see in detail what the rules of the trading system are, I can click right here and it'll show me. Okay, there's nothing for a rules down, so there's no neutral or down. We're not going to be shorting anything. And the rules up, okay, it's using the RT Kicker combo. We're buying. We're using the RTC S&P 500 winners. Try to maintain 10 positions. Invest average portfolio value. Don't repurchase stock I own. This gives you all of the details of what that trading system is going to do for you. So all of that information is right here. And I would urge you, if you're looking for a trading system, don't just go and look at, this one's up 32% for the year. This is the one I want. Oh, wait a minute, this one's even better. Premier Growth Stocks, up 35%. Don't just look at the numbers. Look at the system. Let's take a look at the Premier Growth Stocks. And let's take a look at the details of that one. All right. What you're going to see here is you're going to see over the year, if I go down to my 1 year, this has had a really, really good return, 35%. If I go over the lifetime or the all-time, the gain's only 71%. It's not quite as good. And the other thing about this system, again, it's not saying it's a bad system. It's saying that it may not suit your investment profile, right? It's a little bit more since 2018, a little bit more up and down, okay? It had some good drawdown from right here all the way through to 2023, okay? So it's had gains, but I think for me, I think this drawdown is a little bit too aggressive for me. I don't think that system would suit my personal needs. Not a bad system, but it doesn't suit what I'm looking for in a system. So I can continue moving down. And again, one of the things that draws me to a system is going to be looking at this over here. This one's not too bad either. This one happens to be Ruler Stocks PL Prudent. Let's take a look. All right, that's pretty good. Now look, there is a ginormous hole right here to where you are kind of stagnant with your profits. Does that bother you? Well, if you're the person that likes a more instant gratification, listen, if you get into the system right here and you just start making money right away, you're going to be happy. But what if you get in right here and then you rally, you go up about 50 or 60%, but then over the next year, it kind of sits stagnant? That's something to look for. Are you going to be able to withhold that? Are you going to be able to stay in that position? Can you commit to holding through and following a trading system through a move like this? If the answer is yes, this trading system may work for you. If the answer is no, find something else. Okay? And again, I can look at all of these. I still like this one the most. That one looks very, very nice to me. Even this one doesn't look too bad. This is Vern's Vultures, also a prudent. S&P 500 winners, Vern's Vultures. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here without knowing too much about that system, and I'm going to go into the trading system rules and assume there is a sell short to this. So this combines confirmed call ups when we buy long, and it also has a sell short for confirmed down. So it's going to try to keep you in the market or in these trades, or find trades that are suitable to short when the market does turn down. So if that suits you and you like that, then there's a good trading system for you. Now again, this is, oops, let me go back. There we go. This one right here, still a very good return. A little bit of drawdown from time to time, where we kind of see it right here, a little bit of drawdown through 2022 and early 23, okay? But looking at the longest term, it's got a 25% drawdown. You know, over the past 6 months, 14%. Year to date, the big drawdown was 14%, probably right here off that spike. But again, here's the holdings for that system, okay? 300 trades, 40%. So that's one thing that's interesting to me is, you know, when I started trading and I started teaching, everybody was so concerned about how accurate is the system. It doesn't matter how accurate the system is. This is a system where the winning trades are 40%, but the lifetime of this trading system since 2012 has a 500% return. Does it really matter that you're 40% accurate when you return 500% over, you know, an 11-year sample size? It doesn't. What good is being 90% right if the system doesn't win? So again, we're just going through the systems here to see which one I like. And I'll tell you, I actually do, and I'm still going to stick with S&P 500 winners. I really do think that that's the way to go for me. I like that. And here's another thing I like about it. It's S&P based. As an options trader, I can actually hedge this as well. I can look at and this is something for another conversation, but I can look at the deltas of my portfolio. I can hedge it with SPY or SPX options. I think it's a good fit for me. And that's what this is all about, going in there looking for a good fit. I go back into the system. One of the things I really like about it, obviously I like the returns. I really like the drawdowns. I like the fact that in 11 years of trading, there's only been 225 total trades. It's got some stocks that I'm very familiar with in here. This is a system that I think suits my needs for 2025 very well. And again, this is the first time I'm going to be doing something like this, so it's important for me to find a system that really does work for me. Now, what I can also do from here is I can trade this with RoboTrader. Now, you'll have to have an investment account, active for this. And I just have my old paper trading account in there. So I'll just set it up. My investment amount is $100,000. click next, and it goes into the brokerage sign up. And again, I don't have all of this set up. I don't have it perfect, but I can open that later, and then now I can actually track and I can trade this system, and it's going to do it for me automatically, and I don't have to do anything. Now, if you just want to do some testing and watching, you can also paper trade this in a portfolio. We're going to start it with an empty portfolio, and here's our trade rules: 50-50 winners, 50-15, 100,000, commission type per trade. We'll just leave it at $9.95. I'm not going to use margin, and we'll just click OK. And we'll go ahead and open the portfolio now. And there it is right here with the auto timer. So this will now start to look for my stock, start to fill everything in. And this is where we can now start looking under portfolios where we have our system, and we can follow it along. Now, another thing to point out here is if you take a look at the auto timer, right now it is set to neutral, because remember, this trading system was based on the RT kicker, and since the RT kicker is not active right now, we are at a no action. If we had a trading strategy that was just using the confirmed up, this would fill immediately and go out there and place the trades on your stocks. But since I'm in a neutral position, I am kind of waiting, and as soon as the market timing changes, I will get filled on all 10 of my positions. So again, one of the great features here of VectorVest is that trading system viewer. It's a great thing to use to help you automate your system. It's got all of the information that you need. It's going to help me personally in 2025 as I look to expand my investment profile. It's going to keep me conservative. I don't have to really do anything with it. It's going to do it itself, and it's really going to help add another element to my overall investments for retirement. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation tonight. Check out that trading system viewer. It really is worth your time. Good night, everybody.